Hello students, so welcome to this online course of Strength of Materials. So up till now we have discussed the stress transformation equation, that is it represent or it shows the variation of stress with the angle theta. So if we know the angle from the reference plane, we can easily calculate the stresses like normal stress and shear stress on that particular plane. Now out of all the planes there should be one plane that will give you the value of maximum stress, and there should be one plane that will give you the plane of minimum stress. Okay, so that is quite obvious. Out of like any number of planes, infinite planes are there, so out of infinite planes there have to be one maximum and one minimum. So these extreme stresses are termed as principal stresses. Okay, so if it is a maximum stress out of various stresses, extreme stresses, then it will be termed as major principal stress, and if it is minimum value, the lowest value, then it will be termed as the minor principal stress. Okay, so the transform equations for plane stress shows that the normal stresses, that is sigma n, and shear stress tau t on the plane t varies continuously as the axis is rotated or are rotated by the angle theta. Okay, so this was our member. So if this is your reference, so it like on any plane, how we are going to calculate, we will check the value of theta from this plane, and theta 1, this is theta 2, and accordingly we will calculate the value of theta and we will put in the equation, transformation equation, and we will have the values of our like stresses, normal stress and shear stress. So that is quite simple. Now the maximum and minimum normal stresses called principal stresses. Okay, so maximum and minimum, out of all the planes there have to be a plane which will carry the maximum normal stress, and one plane will be having the minimum value of the normal stress, and these planes are termed as principal planes, and the respective stresses will be termed as principal stresses, and these can be found from the transformation equation. Like for the value, we want to calculate the normal stress, so we have to use the transformation equation for the normal stress. So how we are going to do, so it was something like this. So this was the equation for sigma n. Okay, so you can see sigma x and sigma y are the known conditions, so only unknown is theta. So if we want to see the maximum value of sigma n, which is a variable in theta, what we have to do, we have to take the derivative d sigma n by d theta, and we have to finally put it 0. From there we will get the value of theta, and for those theta we have to check whether it is maximum value or minimum value. Okay, so this is quite simple exercise. So all you have to do is you have to take the derivative of sigma n with respect to theta. Okay, so this we want to calculate d sigma n by d theta. So just put all the values here, and we have to differentiate this equation with respect to theta. So this value is constant, it is not depending upon theta, so it will become 0, plus sigma x minus sigma y by 2 is also constant, so it will come outside the differential form, and cos 2 theta will be differentiated with respect to theta. So the differentiation of cos theta is minus sin theta. So as theta is 2 theta, so it will again be differentiated with respect to theta with the help of chain rule, and we will get a constant 2 theta with 2 theta by d theta is 2. So this will become minus 2 sin 2 theta plus tau xy. Again only tau xy is the constant and sin theta is the variable. So the derivative of sin theta with respect to theta is nothing but cos theta, and if it is angle 2, 2 is constant, so it will be 2 cos 2 theta. Simple. So what we have to do, we have to check for the maxima and minima, like we are checking for the maximum extreme values. So we will put this value as 0, and by putting this value as 0 we can get this relation, tan 2 theta p is equal to 2 tau xy divided by sigma x minus sigma y. So the subscript p indicates the theta p defines the orientation of the principal planes, that is the planes on which the principal stresses act. So from here you can calculate the theta p. Okay, it will be half and tan inverse of this whole value. So this is the angle of that plane on which the stresses are maximum. So I hope this is clear up to here. Now two values of the angle 2 theta p in the range from 0 to 260 degree can be obtained from the equation 8, which is this equation. Tan 2 theta p is equal to 2 tau xy divided by the difference between sigma x and sigma y. Okay, now these value differs by 180 degree. With one value it will be in between 0 to 180 degree and other will be in between 180 to 360 degree. Therefore the angle theta p has two values that differ by 90 degree. One value between 0 to 90 and other will be between 90 to 180. And the two values of theta p are known as the principal angles. Okay, for one of these angles the normal stress sigma x is maximum principal stress. For the other one it is minimum principal stress. So maximum principal stress is major principal stress and minimum principal stress is minor principal stress. Now because the principal angles differ by 90 degree, so we see that the principal stresses occur on mutually perpendicular planes. Okay, so this is a quite nice observation that the two principal planes will be perpendicular to each other. Now the principal stresses can be calculated by substituting each of the two values of theta p into the stress transformation equation and solving for sigma n. So we are having the value of theta p for which the stresses are maximum. Now we want to calculate the value of that maximum or minimum values of the sigma or the normal stress. Okay, so the first value is, so we are having tan 2 theta p. So tan theta is what? If this is theta, this is x, this is y, and so this will become x square plus y square. Okay, so what we have done, we have converted this into with reference to this triangle. So here x is what? Tau xy, and y is what? Sigma x minus sigma y. So what we are doing, we are just dividing with the hypotenuse of a triangle which is having the angle 2 theta p. Okay, so we have divided by sigma x minus sigma y by 2 whole square plus tau xy whole square in the numerator and in the denominator, you can see from here. Okay, so tan 2 theta p is nothing but sin 2 theta p divided by cos 2 theta p. Okay, so this ratio is equal to sin 2 theta p divided by cos 2 theta p. So from here we get the value of sin 2 theta p and cos 2 theta p. Why we are doing so? Because it will be easy for the calculation. Here you can see cos theta and sin theta both are there. So we have directly calculated the value. First, if we are having this value, so again we have to convert these values into tan theta and cos theta, then we have to do some manipulations, then it will be tedious. So here itself we have calculated the value of sin 2 theta p and cos 2 theta p. Now simply put the value of sin 2 theta p and cos 2 theta p in the equation of sigma n. Okay, so what you are going to get, you will see that it will be sigma x minus sigma y by 2 whole square. Here it will become whole square multiplied, and here tau xy whole square. So it is nothing but the square of whatever is in the denominator of the equation. Clearly from here you can get. So finally you will get the value of sigma p1 is equal to sigma x plus sigma y by 2 plus under root x sigma x minus sigma y by 2 whole square plus tau xy whole square. So this is very important equation. Okay, for your exam perspective also, and in GATE or any other examination you will get, like every year or every alternate year you will find the question from this formula. So this is one of the equation. Clear? Now we want to see what will be the equation for the other, like principal stress. So for that we know that the two principal planes will vary. They are on a mutually perpendicular axis, they will be existing. So now we are, for like if theta p1 is some angle, we can add 90 degree to that angle and we can get the angle of the second principal plane, that will be theta p1 plus 90 degree. So we are having, again what we are going to do, we will substitute the value of theta by 90 plus theta here. Okay, So here you can see cos 2 theta means 180 plus 2 theta p1 and sin 180 plus 2 theta p1. So 180 plus theta means it is in third coordinate. So in third coordinate both sin theta and cos theta are negative. Okay, so that is why you can see here it is also minus, here it is also minus, because in third quadrant this is first, this is second, and this is third quadrant. So this theta p2 is lying in the third coordinate, and in third coordinate both sin theta and cos theta are negative. That is why this negative term has come. Now you will just simply solve it, and you will end up by getting this equation. Okay, so this is your sigma p2. Now you can see it is sigma x plus sigma y by 2 minus sigma x minus sigma y by 2 whole square by 2 plus tau xy whole square. So this is sigma 1, this is sigma 2. Only this plus and minus sign is there, the difference is there. So you can see from this equation that sigma p1 is greater than sigma p2. So sigma p1 will become major principal stress and sigma p2 will become minor principal stress. Okay, so I think up till here it is clear to you. Now we can check, like if you will add the values of sigma p1 and sigma p2, from here this term and this term will get cancelled out, and again you will get sigma p1 plus sigma p2 is nothing but sigma x plus sigma y by 2, sigma x plus sigma y. So this is stress very invariant because sigma x and sigma y were mutually perpendicular planes. The stress is on mutually perpendicular planes, and sigma p1 and sigma p2 are also mutually perpendicular. So on two mutually perpendicular axes for a given stress element for a given point will be invariant, so the sum will be same. So sigma p1 plus sigma p2 is equal to sigma x plus sigma y. Now we are also interested in this term sigma p1 minus sigma p2. So if you will take the difference, so first term will get cancelled out, sigma x plus sigma y by 2 will get cancelled out, and this will be added 2 times. Okay, because they are just opposite in the sign only. Now this we are going to use in our further portion of this chapter, why we have calculated sigma p1 plus sigma minus sigma p2. Thus we will see. Now let us try to calculate the value of shear stress. What is the value of shear stress on a principal plane? This we want to calculate. So if we want to calculate this, what we have to do, we have to put the value of theta on this in this equation, tau t. So when you are going to put the value of theta, you will end up getting 0 value. Even if you will put theta plus 90 degree, you will get the same value, that is tau t is 0. That means on a principal plane only normal stresses are existing, no shear stress. So normal plane will be free from shear. There is no shear acting on a normal principal planes. Okay, so all the results can be obtained by putting the value of shear stress 0. That means if we would have just put the value of tau t is equal to 0, again you can get this tan 2 theta p. But I have to show you, like from both ways you can get the values. That's why we have done by both the methods. Okay, so this value and this value are same only. Why? Because on a principal plane the shear stress is 0. So directly put the value of shear stress as 0 and you will get the value of the angles which are required. So this is all for today. So in the today's lecture we have discussed about the principal planes, how we have calculated the principal planes. Principal stresses are the maximum stresses or the minimum stresses, they are the extreme values. So these can be calculated by the concept of maxima and minima, because this is either maximum or minimum. So for maxima and minima, what we have to do, we have to take the derivative and we have to put that derivative as equal to, we have to equate it as to 0. Okay, for the values of, like we have to check for what values this value is 0, and for those values that function will be maximum or minimum. So we have checked like sigma n and tau t, these are the equations, and sigma n is nothing but the variable in only theta. So if we have to calculate the maximum value, we have to check for what values of theta these derivatives are 0. So we have checked, we have equated it to 0, so we have got the value of tan 2 theta p is equal to 2 tau xy divided by sigma x minus sigma y. So this value from here we have calculated sin theta and cos theta. We have put the values and we have obtained a equation of sigma p1. Again we want to calculate the minimum value also. So from the observation we have checked that these two planes will be perpendicular. So what we have done, we have put the next theta, that theta 2 is equal to theta 1 plus 90 degree. So after putting that, we have got the another value of sigma on a principal plane. So we have named it as sigma 2. So sigma 1 was sigma x plus sigma y by 2 plus root square sigma x minus sigma y by 2 whole square plus tau xy whole square, and sigma 2 sigma x plus sigma y by 2 minus root square sigma x minus sigma y by 2 whole square plus tau xy whole square. So as you can see in the sigma 1, the two terms are getting added, and in the equation of sigma 2, the two stresses are getting subtracted. So that means sigma p1 is greater than sigma p2. So sigma p1 becomes major principal stress, and throughout the course we will use 1 for maximum and 2 for minimum. Okay. And also we have checked on the sigma plane what is the value of series stress, and we found that it is equal to 0. Clear? So this is all for today. In the next lecture we will move forward and we will check the values of other things like what is the maximum stress, maximum shear stress, and how we can relate the values of maximum stress, shear stress to principal stresses. So this we are going to see in the next lecture, and we will try to solve some problem. So this is all for today. Thank you.